We're live on multiple platforms: Periscope, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Twitch. There's another website we own probably too. We're gonna let the room fill up, man. We're gonna let the room fill up. Yeah.
What's good with you, brother?
What's good with you, fam? You know how this thing go, man. You know we don't like football at all. We love it, right?
Exactly. All day, every day.
I look at you as not a draft guy, but a football guy. You know what I'm saying? And me as well. I'm not a draft guy, but I'm more of a football guy. You know, if that make any sense? Like, we can go back and forth about players' expectations, what we want to see out of a player, what that player need to do, what that player should do. But in reality is that we just want to see some talent out there. And I think that we bring that to the table. Once the player is drafted, then we go over said player. How you feel about that?
That's how I like to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm learning though that there's some value. Shout out to Vach and Foots for doing that. But there's some value in breaking them down early.
Mm-hmm.
But I got kind of shot in the foot a couple times by it, and reason being is like I don't like to lose. So
Right.
And that's just my little secret. So I'll go and break down a guy that I want us to get, and then he wound up not even being in. I remember Quentin Osborne.
Oh yeah.
I got like 30. I got a lot of traction for him, and everybody loved him. And then I guess due to behavioral issues or something, we just cut him, and he never, maybe he had an injury or something was wrong with him, but he never even made it in the league. But he was nice. He was nasty. But for whatever reason, they saw something in him we didn't. And so I feel like the energy that I put in the breakdown,
Right.
not saying anybody else doesn't, but I just don't want to put it in unless I know this is going to be a guy that's bleeding silver and blue. Now, if you just asking me to do, if I started doing content for the entire NFL, then I wouldn't care, because I'm going to watch these guys anyway, no matter what team they land on. Then it makes more sense.
And it makes more sense. Yeah.
Cowboys, I only care about who the Cowboys bring on. If we're not bringing them on, I wasn't usually, in the habit of breaking them down. But it's something to do, especially at a time where I can't make that excuse now. We got all this time to sit at our computer. Might as well just get it in. So I'll do it now, but that's not my normal.
Man, that's some good stuff, man. Oh, I'm so disrespectful, man. I'm already assuming that everybody already know, but let me just tell you guys right now. You type in AKOYE in anybody's Googles, and you would find this man. I'm talking about, just Google the man, Okoye Media. I mean, I'm telling you, good, thorough film breakdown. He's a diehard Cowboys fan. I mean, he may not look like me when we lose, but I'm telling you, he probably get mad and punch holes in the walls though.
I don't
somewhere.
even talk to you. When we lose, I can't even make money off it.
My goodness!
I can't go live when we lose because I'm too pissed off. They were like, they tired of seeing my alter ego. They're like, man, Okoye be breaking down when we lose.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
My day ain't right. I don't even feel like seeing a computer when we lose. I'm like, man, I'm out of here. I gotta go for a walk or a run or hit a heavy bag or something.
You gotta punch something, man. Just knock them off, man, and leave them with the raggedy tooth. My guy, West Coast Cowboy, and who else you did episodes with? Boss Cowboy. Who else you did one? Botch Lombardi.
Botch, everybody, man. Foots. Botch. You Big Game. I work with
Big Game James.
Yeah, everybody.
Yeah, so we got a trifecta tonight. It's going to be me, Big Game James, Skywalker Steel with a new feel. We're going to be doing the complete draft. So I want everybody to tune in around 6:30 to 7 o'clock. Just hit the notification so you guys can get the information. But I wanted to bring on the GOAT so we can go over the philosophy, because I think that you're more of an analytical philosophy type of person. You got the philosophy stone over there, man.
I think I got it, man. Lord Brunson think he got the Thanos gauntlet, but I think I got all them power stones, man. At some point or another, we pull tricks out the bag. You know how it goes.
Yeah. So help people out, man. Let people know the differences between from a scouting perspective, the difference between going 4-3-4 linebacker or an edge guy, or a 4-3 edge rusher / Sam or Will linebacker. Can you break that down to everybody in the smallest terms?
Perfect. First off, we already talked about it, right, in multiple videos. I think in the Chase Young, Clavion Chase chasing video I did, we talked about the idea that if the Cowboys are in fact, which I believe they are,
Mm-hmm.
going 3-4, there's really not much need for either one of those guys. And the reason being, I know everybody's saying, oh, we don't know who Randy Gregory is
Right.
anymore. We don't know who Alden Smith is anymore. And I give you that. But when you have both of those guys out there, and then even some David Irvin talks in the mix too now that the CBA has changed. Not saying that they're the greatest character guys, but hey, like I said before, how many times have we won a Super Bowl with great character guys? We never have.
Never. Ever.
So stop talking to me about character for those fans who keep complaining about character. Stop talking about character because I want guys who love football and who get the job done. Because Michael Irvin was not a great character guy, but everybody loved him, don't they? Yeah. So with that said,
right. How you doing, guys?
Hey, if I showed you his rap sheet, you'd be like, "Ain't no way Irvin did that." Oh, yes, he did. But as far as character goes, I feel you. But if we're going 3-4, you have Alden Smith who can play on the outside perimeter and also play 3-4 defensive end, which is a two gapping position. And what two gapping is, my man Vach, who always teaching two gapping, is when instead of you shooting straight up the field or shooting a gap and choosing a side, you just stand your guy up, your blocker up that's in front of you. You shade in the middle of him so that you have a two-way depending on which gap that running back chooses. Now, a guy that does that is usually a stronger Calais Campbell types, Alden Smith type guys. Even D-Law can do it because he just freakishly strong and he slightly undersized for a 3-4 defensive end and a little more athletic, but he can play 3-4 defensive end just like Alden or outside linebacker as well. And if you're going 3-4, that gives you flexibility with the guys we already have. Jalen is another guy who has the pass rush ability and burst. And I said this in a comparison. A lot of people snapped on me, but you forget who Jalen Smith was prior to his injury. Jalen Smith was Chase Young, just a little smaller prior to his injury. He can play any position in the front seven other than the one tech. And that's the same thing Chase Young can do now. Jalen Smith, I mean, you wouldn't put him at 3 tech at 240, but so Chase can do a little bit more due to his height and his frame. But as far as explosive ability and pass rush ability and flexibility, they both were very similar. So when I compare Chase Young to Jalen Smith, I'm not disrespecting Chase Young. I'm saying Young does not have to be an outside linebacker. He does not have to be a 3-4 defensive end. He can play anywhere, any end position, and he also can play any of the linebacker positions he chooses to, if he so chooses. So when I say that Clavion Chasen is the better pure pass rusher, is because that's the only job he's going to have. He's not going to play middle linebacker. Chase Young could if he wanted to. So it's not a knock on Chase Young by saying Clavion Chasen is the better pick as an outside linebacker. It's because that's all he would be able to do. Chase Young is the better overall player. But with that said, when you're talking about 3-4 with the Cowboys, we need either of those guys because Randy Gregory can also play only outside linebacker. He can't play 3-4 defensive end. Alden Smith can play both. DeMarcus Lawrence,
because of the size per se.
Right. Because of the size and what they're required to do in the 3-4. Alden Smith can play both, and so can DeMarcus Lawrence. So with that said, if both those guys, if DeMarcus Lawrence and Alden Smith are outside linebackers in a 3-4 scheme, then you need size and girth in the middle. And we already have Antoine Woods, who can play one tech. You have Datari Poe. So those are our 2 one techs if we win 3-4. And so they're anchoring in the middle of that field all day. And then on the outside of them, you have Gerald McCoy. And if we keep Tyrone, I don't know if Crawford's still on the roster or not, if he's going to make it or not. I know he's kind of dinged up.
That Boise, and then they got that $8 million that they were saved, but they want to pay him that money.
Matter though, we got Dorrance Armstrong behind DeMarcus Lawrence and those guys, and then also Jalen Jelks, who's coming on, who can definitely play, who's athletic enough and long enough to play 3-4 outside linebacker as well. So we're loaded as far as skill and talent on the outside. Even Jalen, if you want to throw Jalen in a mixture out there and any linebacker position, I think that's what they'll do is move Jalen around because he can do it all. He can definitely pass rush off the edge. He can blitz from the middle, or he can cover like a safety or a corner. Like Jalen can cover. Everybody who picked on him as far as that Chicago game, they forget that he is consistently getting beat by a wide receiver by inches. Like that's not what linebackers get their asses whooped when they go up against a wide receiver. He's not getting destroyed. He was just in that one series he got picked on a little bit, but people forget that he's not even supposed to be guarding those guys anyway.
Yes, indeed. Let me give a quick shout out to everybody, man. I really appreciate you all. Y'all can be doing thousands and thousands of things, but you guys decided to share your time with us, which is fantastic. Tavis, he's on the Facebook group. He says, "What's up, Okoye?" He sees you over here. James Black, what's good? We got Spoony Dog over here. Shout out to the dogs. Joe Tranchina, all the way from Italy, man. That's how the love and dedication goes, man. We got people from all over the globe that watch and tune into this nation. Junior, thank you for tuning in, as well as Iceberg Q. What's good with you, fam? So, with all of that being said, man, when we start talking about this particular team,
right?
Yes, I think that Jalen Jux probably be better in a 3-4 system or what have you, opposed to last year, which he didn't get a lot of playing time. On top of that, I do like the fact that the coaching staff already came out and said we would not handicap ourselves.
Yeah.
I'm going to repeat. We would not handicap ourselves by sitting there saying we're going to draft a player to fit scheme. No. We're going to draft a player that the best player is out there. So if it's the TJ Watts of the world and if he's lighting the pants or what have you, 2 tears in the bucket. What the tape says, you see.
Exactly.
Yes. So I like that. When they came out and said that, I said, man, hallelujah. You know. I went and bought me some Hennessy, man. I already started celebrating.
I started listening to Kanye Sunday service album. I was ready to testify.
Yes, indeed, boy. Yes, indeed.
I feel you on that. But like I said, we built out for it, man. We and if we're going 3-4, then that frees us up to not have to go for the best edge rusher. But if we went for one of the best 2-gap guys, one of the guys I like is AJ Epinesa. He's a Samoan dude.
And you got the name out quick too, man. I said, God dog, I always fumble. But go ahead.
I've been murdering his name for so long. I better get it right by now. But AJ Epinesa is a guy who I really like, because if we went after him, and that first 3 starting line in a 3-4 scheme would be crazy. He's a lot like Alden, where he can play outside on the edge if he wants. He has enough speed to rush, sort of like what was that dude's name? McPhee. Sort of like McPhee. He's a bigger guy, but McPhee played outside linebacker, but mainly in run support situations. He wasn't really a pass rusher from there. But if you need to throw AJ out there, he can definitely do that. But he's mainly one of those Cameron, those Hayward guys, play that 3-4 traditional Pittsburgh 3-4 defensive end type guy, or JJ Watt type usage, however you want to use them. But if you short that up and if they grab a guy like that rather than an edge rusher, then you know for a fact they're going 3-4. Because already with Dontari Poe, I feel like we were already kind of locked in 3-4. And if you watch how Gerald McCoy, his positive rushes, because Gerald McCoy, people say, oh, he doesn't have it anymore. When you ask Jared McCoy to play 1 tech or 3 tech and have to rush against a double team, he's okay. But his rushes last year that were effective is whenever they played like a wide 9 sort of front, where he was spilling them or even stunting out to that edge and taking on a tackle. Tackles, you could say whatever you want about, your Tyron Smiths and your tackles of the world, but guards have the girth to deal with those 300 and plus pound guys that have that combination of speed and power. Tackles don't necessarily deal with that level of strength and explosiveness on the outside. They're used to dealing with smaller guys that they usually outweighing them by 40, 50 pounds, sometimes even 100 pounds on the outside. When you're dealing with one of those guys, like imagine a Von Miller who's only like 230 respectively,
right,
against Lady Collins who's 340. Okay, you're used to dealing with more speed than power. But when you take Gerald McCoy and you put him out at 3-4 defensive end, he can stand up those guys on the outside day in, day out. As far as singling him up, where he's able to pass rush one-on-one against a guard shaded out on his outside shoulder rather than the inside shoulder, where he has that center help shaded outside, where he's not going to consistently get tackle help on the left or the right, because they have to be worried about that outside linebacker coming or not. So if that tackle kicks out, that's one-on-one with a guard every time on his outside shoulder. McCoy will kill that all day, and you can see the film in Carolina. He is killing that all day. He eat that alive, so that's no problem. So with us taking a guy that's larger or that's more suited for the 3-4, then we're already ready. Like right now, you got LVE. I always talk about LVE when you mention the Sam position in the 3-4. They're really it's no Sam.
Really. Right. There's none of that.
Either a little linebacker, or he's rushing from the outside.
Yeah.
And I think either way, I'm happy with it. I like when LVE is setting the edge and you don't ask him to do a lot. So I would rather him shut down his side of the field, to be honest with you. If he's on a strong side in a non-traditional are in a
Mm-hmm.
traditional 3-4. You could call them strong side, and that just means the side that the tight end is lined up on. So if he's on that side with a tight end, I don't mind LV manning up against a tight end or pass rush. Either or is fine. And if the run actually goes his side, he's played best when he's not asked to assess what's going on in front of him. If you say, "Hey, LV," whenever he played Sam in the 4-3, and I'll put that up in a
Mm-hmm.
film overlay over this, but whenever you saw him play Sam in the 4-3, he looked a lot different. You'll say, "Who the hell is that?"
Who is that? You know.
Watch the Rams game in the playoffs where we lost. When he was playing Sam, he had to. When he was
Mm-hmm.
aggressive in the beginning of that game, he was knocking. I know we got ran all over that game, but he was
Mm-hmm.
knocking people on the ass when they just said, "Listen, don't assess what's happening. We on this play, you just got to set the edge and turn
Yeah.
it back inside."
I think that LVE is the hidden gem or the person that we really needed, last year, and it
Yeah,
showed. The Minnesota Vikings game, it showed without an LVE on the tight end, it showed, and we love Sean Lee, like you said, sideline to sideline guy, but flipping his hips, turning around, covering the tight end, always been his issue as relates to post injuries. I meant to say, because when Sean Lee first started off, he had great range, great anticipation of going after the ball and these sorts. But when we look at LVE's situation, 6'5", 6'6", give or take, well, 6'4", 6'5", that frame, and think about it. I want people to go back and watch the Eagles game. Shout out to you, John Jones, for making a donation to help grow the nation. Go back and watch the Eagles game when he picked off for Carson Wentz. And if you go back and watch the Minnesota Vikings game, you will see that when LVE wasn't the person that's covering the tight end scored multiple touchdowns and plus a 2-point conversion.
he can
Yeah.
do his thing when it comes to assessing the run. He's better
Mm-hmm.
with run fits and sliding in there and slashing. He used to be pretty damn good in coverage too, but he's not
Right.
as quick in the hips as he used to be. And he's a rotational guy now. But those who think we need a linebacker, I wouldn't say we need one first round, but I do think we need a rotational guy due to LVE being injured.
Yeah,
But
that calls the pause type of
that's
situation.
the
Yeah.
reason we went and got Joe Thomas, who I think that if you're looking at a team right now as it stands, you rotate in LV and Sean Lee wherever you want to put. Well, Sean Lee is relegated
Mm-hmm.
to linebacker behind Jalen or behind Joe Thomas, and then I think you put LV on the outside and give him spot work. Because of his injury, we would go after maybe another linebacker in that case. But if we're in 3-4, we don't need a linebacker because two of your linebackers are really your defensive ends now. So
Mm-hmm.
we're loaded at linebacker.
Oh, yeah.
Before 3, we need a traditional linebacker. We don't need that if we go 3-4. So for those who say, and that's what'll let you know, if we don't go out and get a linebacker to give us insurance
Mm-hmm.
on LVE's situation, then we're going to stay 3-4 because that allows us to use these guys in multiple ways that we already have. And
Yeah.
it just doesn't make any sense. If you were putting a case together and you were saying, let's just go with the usual suspects and let's just go with circumstantial evidence. You got circumstantial evidence. You got a head coach
Mm-hmm.
who's never been a head coach without a 3-4 team, a 3-4 scheme. I don't think he's ever run 4-3 as a head coach. Then you have a defensive coordinator
Right.
who just so happened to run 3-4.
Right.
And Tom Sula ran 3-4. And then
Right.
they go and get Alden Smith, who is a 3-4 guy. And then you go get Dontari Poe, who started off, who had his best playing time as a 3-4 center. So the evidence shows to me that we're leaning towards a 3-4 scheme based on everybody's comfortability with it in this staff. And if that's the case, because we didn't go out and trade for or pick up a big name free agent at corner,
Mm-hmm.
I think we'll probably lean towards corner early. And
Ah.
I do think that. I think if we would have got Drake Kirkpatrick, then we're not shopping hungry. You're not shopping starving. Right now we definitely need a corner to
We
anchor us.
do.
We got a good corners, but if we had one guy that's able to, really man in his side, it makes all the rest of those guys' job a lot easier. So right now, you don't want to start the season with just Anthony Brown. All question marks. We love him all.
Question mark. Yeah.
But Jordan Lewis, he didn't get the playing time he needed, and he's a smaller guy, but he's a question mark. You got Cheeto, who we don't know if they're going to keep him outside or use him inside where he should be because Jordan is so good inside as well. It kind of creates a log jam there because Jordan, you don't really necessarily want him on the perimeter 100% of the time.
100% of the
Got to
time.
get that nickel time because of his size, so that pushes Cheeto out to where he shouldn't be, which is on the outside permanently, and we need Cheeto inside. So with that said, in order to get that level of flexibility, we got to go get more corners. So I think we go corner early, and corner right now is deep in the draft. Like I put up guys in a video a couple days ago.
Mm-hmm.
Most people don't even really look at corner. And that's how deep it is, because they're looking at the AJ Terrells and those guys are the Okudas, but everybody knows those names. Who are the guys who man up, who might be a little undersized, who always play with a chip on their shoulder? I just did a video on 10 of those guys, and most of those guys aren't even in the top 10 for other people. But according to PFF, they're the best man cover corners out there. So those are guys that we can get that are second round guys, third round guys, but they still solid as hell for a team that's going to build itself around, I think, a lot of blitz pressure up front. You want opportunistic ball hawk guys back there, not necessarily.
And that's who they looking for.
Right.
They ain't looking for these corners that's going to pay off the ball 10 yards off, give the opposition a free release. They looking for somebody they can get into the face. When I think of cornerback, it's a physical grind for 30 to 50 snaps all game long.
Right.
And you got to get physical. You got to get into the face. Redirect. If you're playing on the boundary, making sure that the boundary is your friend. Forces and squeezes out for the boundary. You're not going to let that wide receiver set and control the game. You want that corner. That's why I like the Jeff Gladney.
Right.
That's why I like the Jalen Johnsons, you see. I like the Bryce Hall. I like guys that's going to get into the face.
I think he's the class of this draft, to be honest with you. I think if he wasn't coming from Utah, I think he would be a lot higher.
Yeah, that Jalen, watch. That's what I see on tape. I think you seeing the same thing I see.
Damon Arnett is nasty. It's a little dude, man. You can't say height really matters when you look at the ability that Tyrann Mathieu has in the league, and he really 5'8".
Oh, yeah.
So you got another guy named Amick Robinson. 5'8", 5'9". But there's no, if he was 6'1", true corner in the draft.
Right.
There's no corner in the draft does everything he does. He can cover like nobody's business. He can jump through the roof. He's like Tariq Cohen from the Chicago, but on defense. He's a super athlete, but he's little. But he will kill you. And I love him.
And he stays on your hip pocket the entire game. And I like Jordan hip pocket, Lewis, but this kid, I think that he got more of a bite than Jordan hip pocket Lewis.
He the best man cover corner I've seen in college before. And I've been watching this film. He's always on you. Like, you're not getting away from him. And I was looking for those 50-50 ball situations. And, you might be able to pull up some. I'm pretty sure he's been scored on at some point.
Right.
You can't just jump on him the way you think you're going to, because he times his jumps differently. You notice he'll jump after his opponent every time. He'll wait for you to get up there, then he meets you at the peak. So he knows how to time his jump where he not getting out jumped. He wait for your hands to be coming down, and he jumps into your frame when you're right off of it. He does it every time, so it's not something.
And regardless of your size, it's funny. There's tape out there with him versus Colin Johnson. Who there I say is like 6'4", 6'5".
Thanks.
And hey, he tearing that chest up. He tearing that chest. He getting right into your face. He's tearing the chest up.
Low to the gravity. He's so low to the ground. You can't just go around him, because he like a wall. He's like a little wall. I like.
Coach used to say, "Hey, you gonna play that close? You better not miss. You better not miss. You better be open. You better be open open them hips up." But he don't care. He's like, "I'm not gonna miss, coach. I'm gonna get right into your face. I'm gonna redirect you." And on top of that, think about this with the cover 2 scheme that we had last year. Just speaking off of the principles of the cover 2. We all I wanted Cheeto Awuzie to do, and that's my dog, man. I love Cheeto. All I wanted him to do is just have the mindset to say, okay, I'm going to use my one cuss word if that's okay with you all. I'm going to jam the hell out of you right on the line. And I got my safety over the top that's going to be able to help me out if push comes to shove. If I need that pinch, if we playing the cover 3, if we playing the cover 2, because is that what Richard Sherman did his entire career?
Yeah, I mean,
I'm gonna get in. Richard Sherman's not no speedster out there, right?
He's not. He's a good straight line runner. He tighten the hips, but he knows how to create. He knows how to make work with his space. Like, you could be a slower guy. Like, Antoine Winfield wasn't a burner,
right?
But he's similar to Amick Robinson. They play actually a lot alike. You don't have.
Yeah. So
you don't have to necessarily be a big guy in order to make an impact. You just have to learn how to use your space. Like, you control that space. So off of 5, like when you watch Amick Robinson 5 yards off the ball, and that new kid we just got, Maurice Canada.
Yeah, he's physical too.
Well,
I saw
he's
that.
gonna hit you. If you within 5 yards, he realizes like even if I didn't get you off the line, we within 5 yards, he'll crack you.
Yeah.
He throws routes off because of his disruptiveness. And I think the fact that they went and got him, and the fact that they were looking at Drake Kirkpatrick's, they're looking for guys who are disruptive and have a certain attitude, like a certain chip on their shoulder. I think that's what they're looking for. They're looking for dogs at corner that just want to fight, because that's what you need. You need an opportunistic guy. If you're not running a 4-3 where you know you're going to be using the zone a lot more than often because you're going to be zone blitzing with that front seven. If you have that, then you want guys on the outside that are like that William Gay type, where they're opportunistic. William Gay, think about it. William Gay and what's his name? Dwight Lowry. Those guys was never great in the league. They never were Pro Bowlers. But look at how long they were good players, because Rex Ryan, Nolan, all the guys that coached those guys, they never tried to make them anything they weren't. I'm not going to try to make Dwight Lowry a shutdown corner. He's good at blitzing off the edge and reading his zone. William Gay, same thing. He's good at blitzing off the edge and reading and assessing what's going on in front of him. And that makes it so that you don't need your corners to do everything. You just need them to be able to assess what their front seven is doing and working in accordance with that. So it gives you a lot more 3-4 just gives you a lot more flexibility at corner, in my opinion. You don't need Jalen Ramsey if you're playing 3-4. If you look at the Steelers, they very rarely ever had just that guy. Like Ike Taylor was their best corner for a while. Right. He never was the guy where you're like, damn, you put Ike Taylor on somebody, it's a wrap. You know what I mean?
Right. Hold on right quick. Shout out to Pick and Pop, man. Really appreciate you for making the donation to help grow the nation. I just had to say this right quick too, Okoye. Chasen is no doggone Taco Charlton. I had to get this out, Cowboy Nation.
He's not.
Come on. Taco, now I'm not throwing any hate at Taco because I think
Taco's
that
Taco Charlton.
Yeah, Taco is not Taco.
He's better than that too. If you had Taco imagine Taco was only a gapper. He's not a one gap dude, upfield guy. He's a stand you up, kind of just reading. Let's see what happens. His length and his strength. Imagine Taco as a 3-4 defensive end. He's fine there. I don't have a problem with
right.
He acts to get a lot of sacks. He acts to do exactly what he's good at doing. Stand guys up and create log jams for the run, and then let Jalen and them run free. That's it. You ain't got to do a lot in 3-4.
Don't have to do nothing.
Grab your guy. Make sure he don't manhandle your ass.
Grab him and hold him. Hold him and grab him.
What we doing this play, Coach? You grab. What you doing next play? You hold it and grab it. Like
hold it and grab him. He can't separate from it. You got to do something, man. And that's why I like this new philosophy, because we're not painting ourselves in a corner. And so later on this afternoon, with the 17th pick, the Dallas Cowboys might select Jerry Jeudy. Did you get a chance to see his film?
Jerry Jeudy? No, I haven't looked at it.
You get a chance to see his film. Did you see any of the wide receivers film? Because I know you kind of like to wait till after the draft or what have you.
If you ask me the top 10 wide receivers in the draft, I'm going to go up the top 10 guys I like. So it's like I've watched them all, but I'm not every weekend I'm watching college football guy, because all year we watch. Yeah. We be on the NFL.
Dallas Cowboys.
So I'm not watching them every week, but I got guys that I like.
Like who you like? Have you seen a Denzel Mims or a Chase Claypool? Any of those bigger receivers?
Chase Claypool in the championship game. I watched him he against AJ Terrell.
Yeah. You talking about Jamar Chase? You talking about Jamar Chase?
Talking about
yeah. Now that when I looked at that game, a Jamar Chase or what have you, how he ate up AJ Terrell, and I looked at some of the other games that AJ Terrell played in. I kind of look at it like this. I just don't see the physicality. I just don't see it out of him, nor do I see it from the Fulton kid that's from LSU. And we don't need that. We need somebody to be physical. We need somebody to jump routes, take the ball away.
Like, so they saying like I've heard him like CD Lamb or whatever his name. I like his height, he reminds me of Stephon Diggs. He a Diggs type dude. Attitude. Not real. He longer than he looks, a lot more athletic than he looks. But I feel like the wide receiver class is always, hit or miss. It doesn't. This is just how I think when it comes to the draft. Everybody gets hyped. Remember, Christian Kirk was a name a couple years ago, 2 years ago, a year ago, whatever. There's always guys that you say are going to be great receivers. Who, like, even Jerry Jeudy, right? Like, you got guys who be like, oh, they'll be great, depending on who the hell drafts them. You got guys throwing on the ball. They not just Christian Kirk didn't just go to Arizona and make him good, right? So that's the reason that I don't really pay too much attention to wide receivers or what they say they're going to do either. You remember when Anquan Bolden came in the league? It was another guy, Bryant, who was drafted right before him in the first round. Anquan was like a second round guy. Came in and killed it that first Detroit game. He had 200-something yards, and you forgot they had a first round draft pick after.
Right.
It's sometimes like that. So, and that's any position, but mainly receiver, because you can't tell me you put a young guy who runs a 4.6 with Drew Brees with Marquise Colston. It's different than Baker Mayfield with Marquise Colston. See what I'm saying? If Marquise Colston would have went to the wrong team, he wouldn't have been what he was. So it's a combination of both, and that goes for quarterbacks with coaches and schemes too. You draft a quarterback and he's with the wrong coach, you might not see what he really gonna.
You know what? You're right on par with that. That was a wide receiver that came out of Ole Miss, and he's supposed to been like Dez 2.0. He's supposed to been like, but he just so slow in the hips. He got drafted to the Minnesota Vikings. His name is at the tip of my tongue. Y'all help me out, man. And he went in the first round. They said, "Hey, this is a player that's going to make a change to the NFL. Y'all help me out, man." He went from Ole Miss, man.
Cordero, is that Patterson? Patterson didn't come
on. No. It's not Patterson, but Cordell, he did his deal. Shout out to young Dollar Wilson, man. Aloha to you. We give for the donation to help grow the nation. $9.99 for your mind.
$9.99. You know what I'm saying?
Best player available in size. Let's have some fun today. Thanks, Law Nation.
Laquan Treadwell they talking about. He was
Laquan Treadwell. Yeah.
I didn't know he was supposed to be a Dez type. I thought he was just
big, physical, had some speed. Can take the. I guess he rounded his routes. He wasn't the purest route runner, but they were saying that his physicality.
You don't got Tony Romo throwing the ball 3 feet over his head.
He had nobody. He went to Minnesota and just disappeared. I think that he's still on Minnesota team.
I just didn't think you were talking about him because I was like, there's no way he's supposed to be a Dez type. But yeah,
I mean, he just never lived up to that moment. Now, DK Metcalf was something else. DK Metcalf was getting the same type of, hey, he can't run routes, he can't do this. But look what he went to, look what team he went to.
Exactly. So you can't call a guy a bust solely off of his performance. You have to look at how often he's used, how he's used, who he's used with, as well. Unless he's like one of those guys that are relegated. Like, that's why I look at positions where you can't really mess this up. If you're a left tackle, you
can't mess up that.
You can't mess that up. I'll watch some college left tackles. Receivers, I could care less. Same thing with certain corners. So you can have a corner. If you got a guy who could play man like Jalen Ramsey, but you ask him to play off zone only, the scheme just screwed that guy up. Look at Jordan Lewis. He was our best corner last year. He got almost just as many sacks as DeMarcus Lawrence. He get interceptions. He's our best corner overall last year, but played the least out of all our corners. He probably played less than the dude Thompson we bought in here. See what I'm saying? That safety. You know what I mean? So he's our best defensive back overall and played the least. So it depends on where you go and how you're used as well, which determines whether or not you're a bust. But as far as receivers go, that's how I feel about them. I do, like I said, I can give you my guys that I think are going to be something.
Somebody mentioned, remember Justin Blackman? Ooh,
oh yeah,
that was dead.
He had alcohol issues though. He had alcohol issues. I think he would have been everything he was supposed to be, but he went to Jacksonville.
He went to Jacksonville, and they do a lot of drinking out there. Shout out to you again, young Wilson. Yes, indeed. He says what you all should say or should take is offensive line / center at 17. I think that we can probably gamble and trade back.
We don't need any offensive. We don't need a center,
but we don't need it. But go ahead. Go with your wide receivers thoughts there.
Justin Jefferson, LSU. I like him. Tall, long. They like those dudes that are like the other dude that came out was Shark, JD or KD Shark a couple years ago.
DJ Shark, he
Shark,
had a okay rookie year, but then last year he kind of blossomed, So
yeah, disappeared his first year, but he started coming on. But
mm-hmm.
I think Justin's another one of those guys. Like I don't think we're gonna get wide receiver production necessarily out of any one receiver his first year. Think of Gallup. Think of anybody. Like Dak has shown, except for with Cooper, he don't really have instant chemistry with you. He got to work with you for a little while.
Right.
And so I'm not looking for a wide receiver to come in and replace Cobb. I think we can go, veteran with that. So right now with just Gallup and Coop, I don't really care who you put in the slot much. I think
Mm-hmm.
that can work with anybody in the slot that has some level of skill. So if we go after Kirk after the draft, I'll be fine with that. I don't think we need to. If we jumped first round on wide receiver, that would be the dumbest move that we do, because we don't need a wide receiver back. Why do you pay Coop that much money and then jump first round to a wide receiver? It just doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't make much.
That's good facts there, man.
Doesn't make much sense. We'll get one, but I don't think it'll be first round. So any wide receivers that you guys are looking at that are in the top 10 that aren't like second, third, fourth round projections, just say you're not gonna get them, because I don't think we are going after them. Not because we can't get them, but why would you want to go do that? You have enough talent in your top two receivers to make any third. You can go back and get Cole Beasley if you wanted to go trade back for his ass. Because whoever's in the slot right now, I don't think it makes as much of a difference. I like what Cobb brought to the table with his athleticism, his quickness, and his veteran leadership. But we can go get another guy that can man that position in the slot. Dare I say Dez, but I know when I say Dez, they think that I'm his boyfriend or some shit. So I always
was it? Would you have a Dez not guilty? What Dez not? What you say? What was that video?
Dez Bryant not guilty, man.
Dez Bryant not guilty. Yeah. Over 250,000 views. Y'all check it out, man. Corriere Media. Dez not guilty.
They think I love him to death, but it's just nobody got mad when Larry Fitzgerald got slower. Nobody got mad when Tim Brown got slower and Jerry Rice got slower. So, and nobody was complaining or protesting when we decided to bring Jason Witten back. So if you're going to say, hey, listen, you want to go get a guy who well, who's going to give you a veteran price, who I think still has something to take, then why not consider him and then go draft a third rounder as insurance for him? And then you still got the guys that y'all love. Everybody loved those dudes that we draft who never make the field. What's his name? Wilson. Got guys like that that's still sitting out there. You got Smith. I think we still got Smith on the team, who was a first round talent.
Ventel Bryant too. You like who? You remember that? That's a meme out there.
I won't even bother saying his name.
Ventel Bryant, man. I did a whole film session. It got over 50,000 views on it. Thank you for tuning in to the Law Nation Film Session as we take a deeper look at Ventel Bryant.
Like,
that's it. Who? And people thought I was messing with him, and they thought we done re-signed it. Not Cole Beasley, but they thought we done re-signed Dez Bryant, and they're like, who? Ventel Bryant. He caught a touchdown last year.
I hear Gigolo Puff. That's a hell of a name. I don't even want to repeat it. Gigolo Puff thinks that you should go after Lamb or Ruggs in the first round at 17. Like I said. It's no way we're getting it. For those of you who think that, if we get a receiver at 17, I'll turn off my live stream tonight.
But you know what it is, though? If we do go that route, though, fam, it's rims on a car.
Why would you do it?
It's rims on a car. Why would you do it? Why would you stay?
My brother in a video, and I'll say this again. Sometimes, like when we were talking about 3-4 versus like those of you who think we need Chasen and Chase Young are Lamborghinis and Ferraris. By the time you are able to afford a Lambo and a Ferrari, you don't need one. You just want one.
You just want one.
During this time, you need a Hummer. You want yourself a motherfucking Hummer. And a wide receiver is not a Hummer position. It's a Ferrari. Why would you buy a Ferrari when you got two Ferraris already? You got yourself a coupe and you got yourself a nice little Lex and a Gallop over there. That's sports cars. You need some grit or muscle. You can get that on the free agency. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with just positions in general. You need positions that are going to change the dynamic of this team if you're going to go first round with them. And Chasen and Chase Young, would they add pressure and so on the outside? Yes. But if you go after the Hummer and AJ Epinesa, you know damn well you're going to get the job done. He's a lunch pail guy. And I think offensively, Same thing. I don't think we go offensive minded at all because you have an offensive minded coach who knows how to. He has a knack for. He's a wide receivers coach. He was a wide receivers coach. You ever notice that during Mike McCarthy's stint with Green Bay, how many wide receivers did he develop? Jordy Nelson.
Go with it. I know you got the list in your mind. Go with it.
On my head, James Jones. You had old head dude, Donald Driver. You had who else did he bring in Adams, who kills us all the time now. Every receiver he brought in, they were on a fast track to being pretty good because he knows how to feed his wide receivers the ball. He's a wide receivers coach, and you see it pays. Pay attention to what a coach's position coaching history was as well, because Mike Tomlin does the same thing. He was a wide receivers coach as well, and he just so happens to always be able to find a top-notch wide receiver because he makes them top notch. So it's the same thing. You got Mike McCarthy, who was the coach, quarterback's guru. Every quarterback that he's been with has been better with him than without him. Period. So ask yourself how Aaron Rodgers is going to do this year, but like he did last year. But anyway, outside of him being able to develop quarterbacks, he's a wide receiver developmental coach. And so as far as offense goes, he doesn't need as much because he knows how to use. He knows how to make more out of his offense than what's there. How to make those guys better. Defensively, he's always done one thing. He goes out and gets veteran leaders in key positions. So don't think Dontari Poe and Gerald McCoy is a Jerry Jones move. He does like to go get guys that have a couple of miles left on the tire, but that was always a Mike McCarthy move. Julius Peppers, he'll go after guys like that. Charles Woodson late in their career.
Oh, y'all get some free intel now, baby.
Likes to go get top level veterans on the defense and then surround that with young talent. And that's what he's going to do in this draft. You're going to have a wild athletic defense this year, and you're going to see guys playing in positions and playing in certain packages that we don't normally see him in. And that's what we drafted for. He likes to get super creative as far as athleticism and talent on defense. And then remember this, we got for those of you who want a safety, Josh Jones is a second round draft pick who I wanted when they drafted him. Green Bay drafted him, and it was Mike McCarthy who drafted him. So we didn't get him because he was a bum and didn't last. We got him because LaFleur did not draft him. So he didn't mind getting rid of him because it wasn't one of his guys. Josh Jones is one of the guys you like. He can cover tight ends like nobody's business, and he will knock your head clean off. But we forgot who he was because he got lost in the shuffle with Green Bay. And then last year, we know we had an idiot, to me, at defensive coordinator, whichever one you want to call it, whether it was Marinelli or Chris Richard, they weren't calling the play. They were calling a very vanilla scheme. So Josh Jones is a wild card right now. Him and Wilson. We got safeties, man.
Right. And that Josh, my thing is
Josh Jones this year. If he was coming out this year, you would have drafted him.
We drafted him because put it like this, and I know I'm gonna get a hate mail from this, but he was the Isaiah Simmons of his team. Now, I know I'm going to get hate mail. Y'all can bring it on. But Josh Jones was the guy that blitz. They can do some slight coverage abilities. And they didn't know whether or not he's going to play safety or linebacker. And I'm looking at if this particular team and the way Mike McCarthy probably saw him, maybe, and I think that he's probably on the waiver or what have you. They might bring him back. I don't know. But what I can say is if, and I'm using the operative word, if he stays on this team or if he pick him up during the training camp or what have you, they're going to bring the brother in to blitz. And that's what we have yet to do on this team is to blitz consistently. And we don't know. We look at all of these other things, but we just don't know how much pressure this team can really do if we just blitz.
You being nice, Law.
I'm PC a little bit, but go ahead.
We definitely know. The one thing our team did well, look at D-Law. D-Law made plays that he wasn't supposed to make. So most of the time when he makes plays, and his best plays, if you look at his highlights from last year, were plays like on the other side of the field, chasing guys down that he had no business chasing, or using his athleticism to just disrupt certain shit. We weren't using our guys' athleticism, though, to the best of their ability. We wanted them to do what we wanted them to do. You are stunting this play. So stunt. That's what
they saying that Josh Jones is gone. I think that he went to Jacksonville. There were people that saying I think that, and I don't know
if he did.
He did.
I like Josh Jones though. I think he would have had some success here. But even with X Woods, you got X Woods still here. We still got X Woods, and I think for those of you who like a guy, if you like a guy, stop being so quick to throw him away. You guys love a guy into the draft. You love Wilson last year, right? Where everybody like, when we gonna see Wilson? You're gonna see Wilson hit the field this year.
Yeah, you definitely should.
So if you liked him last year, why don't you like him? Why do we need a safety this year? If you liked him last year, let's see what he can do. When you constantly go out and draft new guys, but you never develop the ones you have, that's just like rolling the dice. We just throwing guys out there hoping that they do something. No, like let's see what they got. Like,
so in this draft, what are your positional need though? What you
I think you either shore up the center position. You know, I honestly think Connor McGovern. I agree with Vach. Connor McGovern can definitely play center, and so can Looney. So I don't think we need a center necessarily. We're gonna go with the best player available, so that opens it up all the way. But my dream pick, who I would go after, would be, I just said his name, AJ Epinesa. Because AJ Epinesa by himself is a disruptive 3-4 defensive end, can move around 3-4 defensive end and outside linebacker. He creates so much flexibility up front in a 3-4 scheme, and his pressure, he's able to man his side down, no problem. And we already know, you know, even if Alden Smith is only 60% of who he used to be, he can man his position. You already know what D-Law can do, and you know what Dontari Poe and McCoy can do. So if you bring one more wild card to that rotation, you know, and if we keep a Michael Bennett type guy, we looking pretty good in the 3-4 scheme with Woods. Imagine Woods and Bennett being backups, you know, and Epinesa backups. Epinesa, Woods, and Bennett is your backup rotational anchor line. Like nobody's gonna wear us down.
Can I speak one thing on Woods?
Go ahead.
I think that, and I'm not putting them in the same room as the Honey Badger, right? I'm not going to be disrespectful. But I'm talking about Xavier Woods for everybody out there. Don't you think that they just kind of played him at that one spot too much? They didn't move him around enough, send him on a blitz, disguise, make him look like he's going to chase inside and make him play the deeper thirds, something like that.
When you look at X Woods, I've never seen a coaching staff like our coaching staff last year. I know I give now let me say this. When it comes to position coaches, I don't really mind the guys. I don't mind Chris Richard as my DB coach, because I like how he talks to the DBs. I don't mind Rob Marinelli as my defensive line coach, training them on how to do the tactics themselves or how to work their technique into their game. I don't mind that. Like when you bring Charles Haley in to teach a spin and Leon Lett, I don't mind that. But when it comes to calling those plays, I have a problem with those guys. Because when you look at our line and our guys last year, how many of those guys were actually used to the best of their ability? It did not happen. We don't have guys where you get to really see what we're capable of up front. So because of that, you're going to see a whole new ripple out of guys that we already have. So I feel like when you look at the way we're situated now, imagine X Woods, where you're just saying, hey, if you look at X Woods in college, right? What was he doing?
He wasn't like on one side of the field and say, okay, that's where you're going to be at. You're right.
He was manning up in slot. He was never single high safety, very rarely, but he was manning up in the slot. He was blitzing. He was moving them around. When you look at Cheeto, you never saw Cheeto use the way he used in college. Cheeto was blitzing off the edge. Cheeto was stopping the run. Cheeto was playing some safety. He was in the middle of the field, never on the perimeter. We now only use him on the perimeter, never in the middle of the field. That's where he's used. That's like looking at Troy Polamalu tape, going and trading for him, and then saying, Troy, we want you to play only single high safety.
Only single high. Don't roam.
He's not Ed Reed. Ed Reed likes to do that. He not that guy. That's like going to get Charles Woodson and be like, we're going to make you a shutdown corner, Charles, and late in your career. No, he was a blitzing nickel guy. But tell me Charles Woodson didn't make a hell of a lot of plays. Man. If you use them right, they make plays. If you constantly use guys where you're trying to make them do something that they're not necessarily comfortable with, and then putting the onus on them and saying that they're not suited for what I try to do, then that means what you're trying to do is obsolete, bro. Period. That's all it means. That's what you're saying to me. If you say, hey, I can't speak without cursing, that means you need to get a little bit more vocabulary. You need to get articulate, bro.
Right,
like, all you can do is curse. That's just a cop-out.
Right. You need to elucidate on some other things. You know what I'm saying?
Bro. That's what you're telling me. So when coaches say Jordan Lewis is, we have some guys who, you're a short coach. That's the crazy thing. Chris Richard is 5'10". He was a defensive back, but don't like no short defensive back. Shut up.
Like, what's going on, man?
Like short defensive back, and you was. That's what you was when you played. So now you don't like him.
Oh my goodness.
defense. So,
but you know, I can't hate on my dog, man, Christopher Richard. You know,
I put my
go
foot
ahead, go ahead.
He
Hate
had
on.
so much promise. He would have been the head coach had he come in here and do what he hyped us up to think he was going to do.
Oh my
All he had
goodness.
to do was have those dudes playing like, I don't care if you give it up a couple. He was so scared to lose that he couldn't win. I think that's what it was. I don't even think we saw the true Chris Richard either, because he was so scared to lose that we could not win because of the pressure of having to win last year. Because I would have you give up some plays. But play like, I like how Rex Ryan coaches in a sense from defense.
From the coaching aspect, from the defense guys, from the defense.
Hey, listen, I got a guy out there in Darrell Rivas who can cover for 3 seconds. I know he can cover for 3 seconds, game in, game out. 3 seconds, he got you. So we're going to make it so that he ain't got to cover for no more than 3 seconds, because we're going to send everybody else like wild men. And I like shit like that. Listen, if you got corners that can't cover, but they can blitz, and that's what we got, a bunch of guys who can blitz and cover. We got a lot of balanced guys, except for, I would even say Anthony Brown. Like, people hate on him. He's always right on you. He just don't know how to play the ball. And he will knock your head off too. So I like those guys. They all balanced physical guys, but we were using them only to cover. They're not pure cover guys. They're guys where they're interchangeable. If you put Jordan in the slot, you put Cheeto in the slot, and you put Anthony Brown in the slot, the one thing you got in common is a quarterback is not looking at them and knowing this guy's only in the slot because he's covering. This guy's only in the slot because he's blitzing. This guy's only in the slot because he's playing zone. You don't know what they're doing because they all interchangeable. So
yes, indeed,
that gives us flexibility to blitz and do everything else we want to do. We were not doing none of that. So I'm cool.
That's exactly, if only, look, and this is what going to happen, and this is not me trying to lie to kick it. We gonna get players that gonna get burned. We gonna get some plays that gonna get burned.
Okay.
But dog it, let it burn. You know what's that song? Let it burn. Let it burn. I forgot, Usher or somebody who talking about let it burn. But we're going to get burnt on a few plays. But dog it, as a cornerback, you want to be able to learn from that. But here's the thing. When you play it so safe and so tight to the vest, you don't get no interceptions. You don't get no turnovers and takeaways that can flip the field.
Scared to lose.
Scared to lose. And when it get down to that prominent or that pivotal moment, guess what? You don't get the interception because you don't know what it feels like. I looked at so much tape of Xavier Woods sitting there looking at the ball, sitting there like, oh, okay, that's what what I supposed to do with that? We saw Cheeto Woozier always almost there. But don't you know there's a Okoye, if he just played a little bit more aggressive, a little bit more physical, that wide receiver wouldn't have a free release off his route. That wide receiver would not be so crisp to the point when he break in at the top of his route. He'll be tired. He'll be exhausted. Then that's when your safety can take it to the house and take it off.
You should have took Cheeto, bring him down to the line. Because if you even look at the games, it don't even make sense. If you look at certain games, I know we're not talking about last year recap, but when you look at last year and the year before, the two games where I was totally impressed with Richard, our defense, were against the Saints. And what did we do differently in those games that we weren't doing the rest of the year? We put Cheeto at the line and made him challenge receivers at the line. And that's only because the Saints play a similar, they flipped their scheme. So they will put their main guy on the left side where Byron is. So Byron was able to take that guy out, and Cheeto was more confident pressing dudes like Ted Ginn and those guys, because he'll press those guys. He's not gonna press a number one receiver over there, but he'll press those number two, number three guys. So Cheeto was playing closer to the line. They had Jordan playing on Kamara. Why would that level of creativity only happen once a year? Why would you only do that type of shit once a year? That don't make sense. You showed that you had the ability, when you use these guys properly, to totally eliminate guys, number one guy, no matter if it's a running back or if it's a receiver, tight end, whatever. We used to put LVE on your tight end, and he was erasing your tight end. So look at Ertz and Dallas Goedert. When we played those guys, LVE have his best games against the Eagles because they tight end heavy. They throw to their tight ends, and we have guys in Jalen and LVE who can run with wide receivers, so they can definitely run with tight ends. So that shows we have the ability to match up guys and take you out, but we weren't doing it. And you had Cheeto playing out in space, rather than letting him just decide you would put Cheeto in the slot and say, listen, you on short zone. If you don't see nothing in front of you, first off, disrupt your guy that's in front of you. If you see nothing and that quarterback is on a bootleg or he rolling out naked, you go ahead and blitz. If you don't see nothing in front of you, develop it in front of you. There's no run coming your front side, your side, and there's no quarterback boot. Get out up underneath some routes and do what you want to do, bro. Yes, do it. Cheeto's a guy that you can let do that, and he'll be a totally. You would think Cheeto is one of the best drafted corners last year or the year before last, if you were allowed Cheeto to do that. And if you told Jordan, say, fuck your height, bro. We're going to put you on the backside. Stop putting him front side where he has to be able to, because Jordan might get beat off the line, but he has the catch-up ability. So if you got
speed.
Here's the difference between right cornerback and left cornerback.
Talk to him.
Quarterbacks are right-handed. So when they first snap the ball, if you don't have a guy who can hold his man up for a long period of time, long corners that are strong, Champ Bailey types, Jalen Ramsey types on that front side, even Byron types on that front side who can hold their press for longer, then you have a problem because he might get beat quick. If a guy gets beat quick but recovers well, you don't want him on the right side because he might get beat quick on slants all day, front side. But backside, a quarterback is not looking at his first read and then lifting his foot up and coming backside. By the time he comes backside, you've already recovered off of that. Whatever you missed off the line, you might have recovered. So if you put Jordan on the left side, like we had him, they tried it the first year, but he got beat against Adams. And they just don't do it no more.
And he got beat on another play against the Raiders, whatever that play was. Crabtree of all people.
Jump ball, though. But
it was a jump ball.
Late. Anybody could get beat on a late development.
All right. So just to clarify to everybody out there, man. Before I do that, shout out to I seen some donations come through, man. I really appreciate you all. Joshua Skinner, the winner. He says salute to Law Nation. Big ups to you, Koye. And redraft ready, strong DJ Mill. Really appreciate you, Law and Okoye. If Chasson, Delpet, McKinney gone at the 17th pick, wide receiver Jefferson from LSU is there. What do you do? Before we answer that question there, I have to say this. The reason why Cheeto got that interception against the Saints game, because he finally played physical.
And that wasn't even
the previous game before that. Game before that, what's that guy, that tall wide receiver, 6'4", 6'5", ate him up several times, although we beat that team, the Miami Dolphins. You remember that game?
Yeah, Parker, I think.
Parker. I mean, he ate my dog up, man.
But even on those plays, Cheeto, well, you saw when he went at him for a touchdown, Cheeto stopped that one. But, Cheeto, he's always going to be there, and you need to give him a lot more credit for what he did last year, because when was Cheeto ever looked at as a shutdown man cover corner in college? That's not what he was. So for him to be just there, like almost there all the time, on his man, but just missing, he never was in your pocket. I'm going to locate the ball, turn around, and you don't see. Show me a highlight. Ain't one that he got from college where that's what you wanted him for. You wanted him for his ability to stop the run as a smaller guy. And what were his best plays? When you saw him against the Raiders, against beast mode, they're like, oh, he a corner. He went shoulder to shoulder with beast mode and didn't get destroyed. Yeah, that's what he does. He'll come up and help him with support. That's what he does. He's one of our best tacklers on the team, period. And I'm talking about even with Jalen. Jalen is not as solid a tackler as Cheeto. He's a harder hitter than Cheeto, but Cheeto going to get you down 9 times out of 10. Jalen is a reach tackler when he don't get his body on you, period. And LVE, we ain't even got his neck probably stopped him from being a level of tackler.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So miss me with that, right? So that's why we funneled everything to Cheeto, because he's one of our surer tacklers on our team. If you look at what Jones did to us with Green Bay, right? Whatever, Aaron Jones or whatever his name was, the running back.
Oh yeah.
Watch Cheeto put a hit on Aaron Jones and knock his neck off in that game.
I'm gonna have to go back and watch it, man.
He tried to reverse field. Cheeto knocked his head off. So I'm not just trying to make this a Cheeto show, but what I'm saying is, at the end of the day, he was playing in the backfield, blitzing and never manning up. He was a zone guy, played some safety, and was blitzing in the backfield. And that's what we drafted him for, but we never used at all.
And just to piggyback off of what the last donations was for the Jefferson kid, he is good. Now the LSU wide receiver Jefferson, he is good. I like his skill set, but not at 17. You know,
who we talking about?
His first name is at the tip of my tongue now. But he's played for the LSU.
He's
Jefferson. You know, y'all help me out. Put his name in the comment box.
I know you're talking about
Justin Jefferson. Yeah,
I like him.
He's good. He's cool.
Not a first round guy.
I like T. Higgins. He's cool. You know, his footwork is really quick. He's tall. He's 6'3", 6'4" guy. He's got deceptive speed. He always approached the ball with his hands and pull it out of the sky.
I like anything that's coming out of honestly Clemson. I always love their receivers. You know,
don't they all kind of play similar?
Martavius Bryant, you got DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
You You got that dude Sammy Watkins. They got they always produce crazy safeties and defensive backs along with defensive ends and wide receivers. You're always gonna get something good out of Clemson. That's actually
you get something.
my college team. I fuck with Clemson heavy.
I know.
Like Jones like Boise State and Arkansas. I like Clemson. I mess with Clemson. Clemson, and Oklahoma product. That's why I love Roy Williams. Brought me back to the Cowboys because I was following him. So crazy.
You like that safety from Clemson, Wallace? You like Wallace? You like Muse?
I don't know Wallace or Muse.
You know, okay. Do you like? I know you're seeing Isaiah Simmons. Then I heard some news out there. There could be a possibility that Isaiah Simmons falls. Believe it or not.
I think all safety is not I don't think it's as big a priority this year because you got to think about it. We got some marquee safeties that's out here on teams already. So depending on how the draft shuffles out, you know if San Diego not taking a safety, they might not take a safety. Not first round. They still got Derwin. You got teams like you never know what KC is not early in the draft, but you never know what they'll do as far as safety. I think they might shore up.
I got my brother from another mother, no other. Don't look like Danny Glover. Keep the party going. Vach Lombardi in the house, man. He says, I'm not gonna let law disrespect my dog Justin Jefferson like that. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. I'm just trying to hear it in Vach Lombardi's voice.
That's with him first round.
Vach knows that I like offense, but I love defense. You hear me, defense. If we fool around with the 17th pick, and we hear the little chime, and you see that the Dallas Cowboys select Justin Jefferson, I'm gonna be sitting there like, man, I'm coming after you, Vach. I'm gonna be like, come on now. They listening to Vach Lombardi, and I'm mad. I'm ready to burn the house down again.
You already know. Footstill said Delbit.
Oh my goodness, there's too much tape out there.
Delbit. Now I wouldn't mind that first round though. I wouldn't mind that first round.
You love Delpit too at the 17th pick?
I would take him if he's the best player available. Yeah, I would take him.
Oh my goodness, man. Oh my goodness, man. That Joker, man. But it is college. It is college. I think that Delpit is a better free safety on the next level than he is in the box.
He's a strong safety.
You like him as strong?
Strong safety. He got that attitude, man. He got that attitude.
He's finessed, though, man. He's finessed. But let me see.
You gotta say this.
Get defense with the 6 other picks.
Is a finesse guy though, so I say if you're gonna go after a finesse guy that can cover, you already got who can cover, who is finesse. So I guess he's more of a center fielder though. He's not a guy you want to man up against anybody. He's a center fielder guy. Is so it depends on how you want to go about it. You got McKinley, but everybody keep talking about that Alabama product. Like don't nobody want they don't want nobody else named Xavier on the team.
Got a lot of Xaviers, man. But positional value, if you want to talk about value, then of course, safety will be on the bottom pole or the bottom hole of the situation, and you want to get some more positional value like cornerback or something like that, or quarterback. Somebody can say with the 17th pick. Have you heard those stories out there so far? A quarterback.
You might as well just go ahead and take a Dak out back and just put him out of his misery. That just shows all the lack of confidence in him in the world. But I doubt that. Like anybody who says that at this point that you are not trusting of Dak, you just trying to have something to say. You just don't like him personally, and that's not what I don't got nothing personal against the kid, man. Like if he is developing what he showed last year, he's developing. Leave him alone. Like I don't think that if you build a team around Dak, we're losers. So why would you? How hard is it? How often do good quarterbacks, even 70 overall in real life, not Madden, 70 overall. Everybody ain't got a 90 overall. So how often do a 70, 75 overall quarterback, above average winnable quarterback, how often do they show up? They don't just grow on trees. So you got a guy in Dak who's 70% of what you want him to be right now. You need him to work on some things in order for him to be everything you want him to be. But if Dak was in the draft right now, knowing like playing with the film that he has right now on tape, you wouldn't take Dak first round this year? You would. So
you already know how it goes, right?
Not you.
But no, we got to talk about this just a little bit, right? Just a little bit, because the Dak conversation is always testy for a lot of people because it's always polarizing when we talk about Dak, and a third of the Cowboys organization or fans, dare I say, can't stand him. You've just just I wish I could just show you guys my inbox on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter about Dak Prescott. My thing is, do you remember Baker Mayfield?
Yep.
Do you remember all of the hype? He's accurate. He goes through his progressions right. He's a guy that's going to be able to put up big points in the NFL. Oh, all he need now is some good weapons. Oh, they winning. That's all they did. They got him all types of weapon out there in Cleveland land.
Yep.
How's he doing though? By the way,
he's I think I think I just saw him throw a pick six out in the parking lot or he throw pick sixes when it's just him and the receivers playing catch. He throwing pick sixes, man.
I mean, so Burrows, I like the Louisiana State kid from LSU, however you want to call him, Joe Burrows, but he's going into a situation whereas he's not going to have thousands and thousands of media presence, but he's going to be a first round draft pick tonight. He should be the first pick off the board unless Cincinnati do Cincinnati things. But I don't want to hear people say, well, he don't have any weapons. He don't have – come on now.
Here go back.
Y'all look at the Cincinnati Bengals roster. You got Botch on the phone? Put him to the mic.
What's good, brother?
Put the phone by the microphone. Put the phone by the microphone.
Oh, they can hear you, brother. You already know. Let's get it. This
my problem with y'all. This my problem with y'all bottom feeders out here. Choose y'all cowboy narrative talking about we got offense already.
Right.
We got receivers already. Why we can't draft a receiver in the first round? We got Amari Cooper and we got Michael Gallup.
Right.
We run 3 to 4 receivers.
Right.
Y'all gonna run Cedric Wilson out there? Y'all gonna run him out there? And then
y'all gonna run him out there?
Hold on. I'll let y'all talk.
Go ahead.
Why are we trusting a practice squad player as slot receiver when we trying to win a Super Bowl? You got 3 guys at cornerback that have given you starts at cornerback.
See how Botch avoid the subject though. Go ahead, Botch. Go ahead, because ain't nobody saying nothing about no practice squad. Go ahead.
Safety that have given you multiple starts at safety.
Right.
Guys on D-line that'll give you multiple starts at D-line. But we let Randall Cobb go all of a sudden. No, that's fine. We'll just get a third-round receiver. We'll just get a practice squad replacement. Why we can't go hard at receiver? I'm a lot of nation talking about how we can't draft defense. We got 7 picks.
All right.
Go defense second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, and 7. Whatever you want to do.
But let me ask you this, Botch. Check this out, right?
Oh, he's Law Botch now.
Here's a question for you, right? Can we go out and find a quality number 3 receiver to play slot during, before, or after the draft? Yes. On the free agency market or trade? Yes.
We can.
Yes.
We can, but my retort is you can do that.
So why would you jump out there when you already have a shored up receiver core that just missing a piece, and you need for sure because we didn't go out and get another corner to man our corner position. You definitely need a corner at this point. And if you're going to say if you say we need a receiver, why wouldn't you say we need a center then? If we need a receiver, we don't need a receiver to say we should go with a receiver. And is Jefferson at 17, in your opinion, the best player that will be available offense, defense, range, speed, health, snap? Is he?
Okay, so on your first point, we don't need corner neither. We got 3 guys that have starts in this league at corner. We felt good about Cheeto before. I still do. Before. We felt good about Brown before.
But we had those guys and we lost Byron though.
We get a brand new cornerbacks coach. We get a brand new defense coach. Those guys get better than what we want. We don't have a guy that has started as slot receiver. Why we gotta BS and just bargain shop for receivers? Why would not bargain shop everyone? Why would not just get, let's just get somebody?
I ain't know Jefferson. Jefferson is Botch's cousin. Now I know. Not that. I'm not trying to hate on your paper. I mean, your family gotta get that money. He's like, my cousin getting drafted. Goddamn it, you better that's his cousin or something. Because he like, man, why are you making that argument for real? I feel you on that though. If it.
But see, look, this is my thing though. It ain't gotta be Jefferson.
Okay.
Ruggs, Lamb, Judy, or CD. It ain't got to be.
But it got to be a receiver.
It ain't got to be that. My big point is I don't want for DeAndre Hopkins to be on the board at 17. So we say, you know what? Let's pick Cordero Patterson just because he's there on the board. Cordero Patterson's a starter.
Right.
Who can do dirty work? I want to get the best player I could possibly get. My brain doesn't play. I think we have some people, a linebacker. I think quarterback's offensive line, the pass rush.
What about AJ Epinesa? If we go on 3-4, you don't think he's a great pickup at 17?
I like Epinesa, but I don't think he's better than if Lamb or Judy or Jefferson or Ruggs are there. Just based on my rankings, I love Epinesa.
Okay.
If we ended up getting him, I would have rather him than Terrell. I would have rather him than Jason.
Right. Okay. So we agree on most. But it's just like we disagreed when we had grabbed. I think we had a draft where you was like, oh, well, with LVE, you was like, switch LVE with Connor Williams, and you're happy, right? So it's the same thing. If we are able to get Epinesa in the first 2 rounds, I'm cool with it. If I don't care who we get in the second round. So if it's a receiver first round, we still manage to get Epinesa, man, you don't need to argue. Feel what I'm saying?
My whole thing is I just don't want my Cowboy nation, my Cowboy family. I don't want y'all to go into this draft saying, you know what, there's positivity. No way I'm taking a wide receiver at 17. I'm blaming all the due diligence and ignorance. I'm not hating on nobody. Done the work. We feel really, really good about Christian Fulton,
right?
From LSU. We feel good.
I like him.
But if people do their research and they've seen Jalen Johnson or if they've seen Noah Igbenogany, they'll like these players.
And they know you got him later in the
round,
Yeah, you can do that.
If I take him in the second and third, I'll feel good about it. But people may only familiarize themselves with
the top notch. Yep.
20 players, so they think if I don't get one of them, I don't want them.
Right. I agree with you.
So within arm reach, if you sitting there with the 17 pick,
first round and a cornerback that you
ask him, would he go out there a Lamb if he's sitting there close to the 17, opposed to waiting for Jefferson? Then if he thinking that the wide receiver can be the difference maker for this team.
Can you hear it?
He said something about Jefferson. What did he say about Jefferson?
He said, ask him if you would go after. Say it again.
Lamb.
Sitting there. If Lamb is there close to 17, would you go Lamb or Jefferson? Which one would you bang?
Well, I'm not trading up to get nobody, but if I had to choose out of the two, Lamb is my better player. So Lamb is my he's like my 8th overall player. My wide receiver 1. Jefferson's my wide receiver 2. Judy's 3. Ruggs is 4. Higgins is 5.
So let me hit you with this then, right? We had a slot receiver last year, right?
Sure.
A pretty damn good one, right?
Sure.
Okay. How well did we do?
We like as an offense.
We did. We're number 1 overall offense, but we proved that we can be number 1 overall offense and still not be a great team, right?
Sure, but hey, maybe your defense should be maybe all these other things. Maybe we shouldn't be 30 seconds special teams.
That's true. You're right. You probably wouldn't have left. He probably would have been like he would have been a Pro Bowler last year.
Man, Cobb looked at that bag, man. Cobb was like, man, shoot, I'm gonna get this big bag from Texans right quick.
Oh, I gotta ask everything, you know what I mean?
Right.
I'll get back to y'all show, man. Salute to you, salute to Cowboy Nation. See y'all later, man.
Likewise, Voch. Appreciate you, bro. Talk to you.
Voch is banging the table, man, for a Lamb. And
man,
for his nephew. We can call him nephew.
My wide receivers. I ain't just for that, because I ain't gonna debate you after you got off. I ain't gonna say nothing else about your receivers. Because I said, yo, Voch was like, man, ain't nobody dumb if we go after the receiver first round.
But you know, I'm gonna ask you to tell him, and he probably be listening, he probably rewind or what have you. Will Jefferson or Lamb be better year 1 than what Cobb did for us last year, or would they be? Because that would be good numbers for him, or would he be better than your dog over there that 88?
Oh no, I think if you want it like
just
now,
1 year, like the 2020 season.
Go get Dez.
So Dez, look, y'all here in the chat box.
If you're going to say 1 year right now,
1 year right now, Dez will be better than Lamb, right?
oh, get it at 32, at 31, whatever he is, right? Would you draft Dez in the 4th round this year? At 30, would you take Dez as like a 4th round level player? If we was going wide receiver 4th round, would you take a late round pick at receiver that might play, might not play, or Cedric Wilson, whoever, or would you take Dez coming back? I would like to see what Dez do coming back more than a young buck. And for people who say no Dez, like I said, when nobody was saying no Fitzgerald, and Vach, you can say whatever you want on that one. I said I wasn't talking about receivers, but I'll debate you.
my dog Jay Farm said, "Hell no,
hell no, y'all crazy."
That's my dog right there. But it now will
Dez dropped too many balls when last year. How many balls did Mike Gallup, his replacement? How many balls had he dropped last year and the year before? I'm not trying to tear down our own team. So
no. Gallup had 11 to 13 drops last year.
Thank you.
But I want to know, would Lamb or Jefferson would they be better? Would they be better than Michael Gallup or Cobb? Would they be better than those two? Or what Cobb did for us last year? Would they be better than that? You know, that's all I'm saying. I think that they have a high. Just to preface it, I think that Lamb year 2, year 3, year 4, man, this guy's going to be just nasty with it if he can remain healthy.
Right. I mean, it could be any. What I'm saying, it could be any veteran though. Like even if we go after a young veteran, you can go for a trade with. I heard we were interested in Kurt, but I think that was a pre-draft thing. I don't think that was something we would go after late. But you can go after a wide receiver after the draft. I think that's
after the draft. Like,
but if you did go after Lamb or Jefferson, if they there, am I going to snap? Me personally, I think I would like to go defense, but I'm a defensive minded guy anyway. I would like to go defense 1st round. I would love Epinesa over those two guys. I feel like a wide receiver, you might have a 2-3 year shelf life, on the team if he doesn't pan out. Epinesa is a guy right now, unless he gets a God forbid injury, he's an 8-10 year player right now. So I would go after a guy like Epinesa before I would go after a skill position.
Position. Man, there's some good stuff, man. Shout out to those that made the donation, man. I really appreciate you all. Let me see how long we've been live. We've been talking for a minute. It's 1 hour and 16 minutes, man. We've been grinding over here, man. You got a lot to chop up and cut up, man, for your show. But I like some objectivity because we don't know. But I can say this. I'm still team defense. I think with the 17th pick, and here's my thought. This is my thought on this, Koye.
Go ahead, I'm listening to you.
You went out there and got an offensive-minded head coach, right?
Right.
And on top of that, the offense was not like bottom 30 or bottom 20, bottom 15. This was top 5 offense, right? I'm thinking just from a perspective aspect of it, I'm thinking that they might just go out there and say, okay, the offense cool. We need turnovers and takeaways. On top of that, for the cherry on the top, we need better special team play. Let's give those guys toys. You already got your toy. You got your big wheel. You got your tricycle. You got your skateboard. You got all of those toys over there. You play with them toys. Them toys did okay last year. Them toys that needed to be better in the red zone, money zone, green zone, right? You got your toys. You said you're an offensive-minded head coach. Deal with it.
Right.
Now, on the defensive side, they need some more toys. They don't have a big wheel over there. They got one that the training wheel was kind of falling off. His name was D-Law. You see, he did good against the run, but he didn't give us all of the action that we need, and they was allergic to the swing set. They didn't swing the field at all. They was allergic. Right. None of the kids could go outside and play. None of them. Name me one person in a pivotal moment in the last 5 years made an interception that counted when we only made it to the playoff. What?
That's what I
Twice?
said. Like you said, they started. They did start. But what name do we have where it's like, yo, that part of the field is?
Give them guys some jump rope and a seesaw and a slide. Let's go.
Yeah, because of our scheme, I think. But every defensive player we have question marks. You got LV question mark with his neck. Joe Thomas question mark on whether or not or why he wasn't a full-time starter. Maybe it's something in practice that we didn't see. You got what can Jordan Lewis be with a full sample? What can Cheeto be used correctly? We got question marks everywhere. What is Anthony Brown? We don't know. Up front, D-Law is our highest paid defensive lineman. What is he? What is he? We don't know yet. Still we don't know because I don't think he was even used correctly. So when it comes to defense, we got a lot of question marks. When it comes to offense, we look a lot more solid offensively. And I know you're saying, like, again, the wide receiver Gallup versus the Julio Jones of the world. I feel that. But we already have staples, even Tony Pollard and Zeke combination in the backfield. That with one wide receiver on an average team is enough to win on an average team. I'm not saying we aiming to be average, but we have two receivers that I trust and two running backs that I trust and a good offensive line and a quarterback, period. So offensively, we don't have as many question marks as we do defensively. I think every position, there is no position where you're comfortable defensively. Even Jalen, because Jalen was getting washed in the run because of what was happening in front of him. So even with Jalen, there is nobody you like, that's it. We don't got to worry about that. Not one person on defense. Nobody. Name them.
Look, now I seen somebody put Jordan is a shutdown, lockdown corner.
Jordan is not a Jordan is a Chris Harris type corner. He's a playmaker corner, but Harris can be played with too because he's a shorter guy. He's a smaller guy. You ain't going to test him unless you're a pretty good quarterback though. And that's the same thing with Jordan. Aaron Rodgers showed that you can beat Jordan in perfect coverage or pretty good coverage.
No. You don't have to use Aaron Rodgers. I want you to go. Look, I know you can do it. I'm gonna challenge you to do this. But the film, you probably get 1,000 views. You probably get 1,000 views off of it because it's going to be a negative film.
Right.
You might get squeezed 2,000 views off of it. Not saying you're doing it for the views, but
I feel you.
Look up. I encourage you guys to look up. And I was gonna really do it, but I was like, nah, because it's my dog. I'm trying not to put it out there like that. But look up Josh Allen completed passes. Just type in, when you go to all 22, type in completed passes Josh Allen versus the Cowboys. And just look at every completed pass. Type in, just so you won't be biased, type in completed and incomplete passes. And use the other person name, Cole Beasley, and use this as another keyword, Jordan Lewis. And after you watch that tape, let me know what you find out. Shout out to you, Patrick, for making a donation to help grow the nation. He says, hey, Law, what do you think of Jordan Love, though, at 17, if it's available? I'm going to answer that question for you. But Koye, talk to me, man. I know you already got the tape. I know you already watched the game. I know it's a Bills game.
Jordan Love, the quarterback Jordan Love?
No, he talking about, that's a donation that came through, and I just gave him some love and adulation. But I'm talking about Jordan Hip Pocket Lewis.
I thought he was saying, what about Jordan Love, the quarterback?
I like Jordan Love, man.
I like him too, but why would you touch him at 17? That would be catastrophic.
If he's the best player available, that'd be catastrophic. But yeah, you know how it goes.
Probably quit football. You're like, man, listen, get out of here. I don't know what I got to do. But Jordan Lewis, I did notice that game. I thought that was one of his better games because he had, I think, 2 sacks that game though.
Jordan Lewis versus the Bills.
Josh Allen, but I didn't really pay attention to the completion, so I will look at it.
Yeah, just look at the completions, look at the routes, look at the combinations, and see how
because he
got open.
He had like 2 pass breakups that game,
2
sacks that game. But I don't remember what he did as far as
coverage ability and things like that. Yeah. Y'all look that up. And, I just like to bring that objectivity in because y'all know I would put it like this, Okoye. That's Jordan Lewis playing inside the slot. I like Jordan Lewis anyway on the boundary or the field side. I like him playing outside on the edges anyway, opposed to playing inside. Or if you give a combination of sliding him in and out, I would love that more and giving the teams to sit on the edge of their seat, sitting there saying, oh, man, where's number 20, not 7, but 26, where he's going to be at on the field,
Right. I mean, yeah, Jordan Lewis is a great corner, but I don't think he's our best overall.
I'm hearing some disagreements in your voice there, though. You don't like him? You don't like him outside?
His side, like if all right, look at our all remember all what was it called? All or nothing.
All or nothing, yeah.
One at it. Any big guy like you want DK Metcalf lining up against Jordan Lewis? Do you?
If he play like a Meek and if he gonna jam him at the line.
You want to jam DK Metcalf at the line?
You just,
I would say,
what coach say, just don't miss, baby. Just don't miss. You got the safety over the top.
Jordan, if he come over there, Jordan, back off. That's all I'm gonna tell you, because he's gonna take you and he's gonna throw your little ass somewhere, and it's gonna be a wrap from the beginning. So
we can't roll the linebacker and the safety over the top on that side and say jam action.
But you gotta give him time to get over there. That's too quick. He gonna outrun that curve real quick. So I would say stay off of him. So it's certain guys that he can't play his game against is basically what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying, especially when you get into the 20 to 30.
I can't call you shut down unless you could do it against anybody you choose. So when Jalen Ramsey, it don't matter who you are, he gonna play the way he gotta play against you if he feel like it. Whereas Jordan gotta pick and choose based on the situation and based on, the personnel that's in front of him. So that's why I can't. I mean, as far as ability, if it was footwork to footwork, it would be like Mick Robinson. I would just go get a Mick Robinson and just call it a day, because he's, he got man coverage ability. Jordan is a man cover guy, but there's just certain things that you are going to be able to take advantage of due to, what he can't change, which is like size.
Facts.
I love Jordan Lewis though, so that's why it was hard for me to even say it, because I don't want it to look like a snuff piece, because I really do love Jordan Lewis a lot, but I don't think he is your prototypical corner that you want to say, hey man, just let him do whatever over there.
Let me ask you this though, man. You a little seasoned too as well, like me. How in the world Darrell Green was able to get by with it? Of course he got speed.
Oh, well, Darrell Green played in a time where you could be a little bit more. Look, how come Ty Law slow ass was a good corner?
And Rondé Barber, how did they was able to do?
They played during a time where you could be physical, like you can use that part of your game to your advantage, and not just at corner.
Or not just at the first 5, you can be physical with
everybody. 7, 8. Like, look at what the type of coverages T.O. used to see. T.O. used to get pressed by a linebacker, and he have a corner stacked over the top of him, and a linebacker stopping him underneath. You know what I mean? It's like those were some exotic coverages. Even Dez used to get those weird coverages. So did Megatron. Those types of guys, they because they could use their physicality a lot more than you can now. Now it's like a corner can only press you. He can only engage once. He can't re-engage even within 5 yards. So if he press you and he lets you go, he can't press you again. They calling that pass interference now, or holding. Whereas before, as long as it's within 5 yards, before it was just like, before 5 yards, they came up with that because of what
they used to hold you. Shout out to Antoine Myers, man. He said for the donation.
What's good, bro?
He called him Megatron. Okay.
That's my dog.
I'm gonna have to start using that name for him. He said Jay Lewis is a dog. Finally, people on his train. Dang it, yeah. He said, finally. people are seeing his dog mentality. Yeah, he is a dog.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, nobody doubt that. That don't mean we don't need more. But yeah, I would like to see that. And like I said, I can tentatively agree with Vach, depending on which is the best player available. If a wide receiver is truly the best player available, and you just say like you don't want to be stubbornly not picking him, I can agree with that. But right now, thinking about the way it'll shuffle out, if I got a guy who I know shores up my defense, or who makes my defense a little more edgy out there, or a wide receiver with the way we put together now, if Cooper didn't re-sign, I would agree. But now I would say, look, go grab that line, that defensive player first. And then
now this is exactly what I'm saying. Although I'm team defense, I am with the philosophy of BPA. And
you're
Jefferson.
Give your Facebook some love. They said they ain't getting that love.
Oh, man, they see all these comments over here. Shout out to y'all on the Facebook though, man. CJ Henderson, Jack Jackson. Shout out to you, Brandon Chase. Really appreciate you all that's there. Richard, really appreciate you for tuning in. Yeah. It's one of the dogs over there, man. We got a lot of. We even got somebody that's on the Twitch. I really appreciate you, Q. Over there on the Twitch, and I really appreciate all of you guys, man. Just to go back off of the question that the other guy made, who made the wonderful, the generous donation of $10 over here, Patrick. He says, what do you think about Jordan Love at 17? I mentioned it before on the post. If the Cowboys are going with best player available, and I like the Jordan Love. I think that he can make every throw. He's not the polished thrower of the ball as it relates to accuracy, but he does have a big arm. He's elusive in a sense, and he can put you in the mind of, hey, quarterbacks are high value type of situations. You can get more, dare I say, out of a quarterback as it relates to trade value if you pick them up and you sit them on the bench for 2 to 3 years. And that is part of the philosophy with Mike McCarthy. Although I disagree with it.
I wouldn't do it.
but this is what makes the pick sexy at 17 though. And you got the Saints looking for a quarterback, and you know that they're looking for a quarterback. You got the New England Patriots looking for a quarterback. Now you can sit there with the 17 pick and say, "Hey, I'm high on Love, and I want something for these picks."
But you got a coach that can develop a third, fourth round guy into the same thing. Like if Mike McCarthy so chooses and he works with a guy, you're sitting behind Dak.
But before you go into that, Koye,
White gonna start looking good in a second.
But Koye, before you go into that, I think that the Saints got the 24 for the 20s. What did the Saints got? 24 pick.
Oh, you saying like just as a strategy?
Strategy, you can say, yeah, I'm high on Jordan Love. The 15th pick come around, you say I'm high on Jordan Love, and the Saints high on Jordan Love, and you say, okay, yeah, I'm picking up Jordan Love, and the Saints gonna say, I give you multiple picks for Jordan Love. I wouldn't.
But you got Jerry Jones, right? Jerry Jones is not going to allow his draft to be dictated by what another team is or isn't doing, or does or doesn't have. True. He's going to go after what he's supposed to have, like what we have. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So if we were a team that's already built out and we were like picking 31st, meaning we was in the Super Bowl or close to it, we picking 30, 31st, 32nd. Oh, I would agree there. Take the best player available, even if it's a quarterback like they did Aaron Rodgers at the end of the draft, end of the first round. Cool, because you're going to develop that, and somebody in the second round would have snatched that immediately. Oh, yeah, you do that. But in this case, we're a team that's trying to get to that level of winning. So I don't think you can waste a pick. And I call that a wasted pick if you're picking a guy that you know for a fact ain't going to play this year. Unless it's an injury-prone guy or a guy that got injured like Jalen or one of those guys, Chris Canty, who came in with an eye injury, those types of guys. Oh, all right, yeah, do that. But I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't grab a quarterback just because. I just wouldn't do it. But I don't think – it's a sound philosophy because we got a coach that can develop them. But I just wouldn't do it. If you had even some safety like if you had Xavier McKinley, if he's there for what I doubt he will be, but if he's there at 17, you got guys like that there. You don't take – I wouldn't take a quarterback over any of those guys. McKinley, AJ up. And I think this draft is so deep and you got so many like – But
what if – and this is just me just putting the hypotheticals out there. What if – I can tell you a crystal ball, Delpit will drop to the 24th. And I know that this is the fantasy land, right? Delpit opposed to McKinney. You lose McKinney, but you allow the Saints to move up to the 17th pick or the New England Patriots to move up to the 17th pick to get who they really wanted, the quarterback, since you had no dealings with a quarterback. And now you got multiple picks in the second, you see.
Multiple picks in the third. Grab that pick and trade back.
Yeah, and then you still get your, I guess, difference maker. You still get your AJ. What if you can still get? What if I told you like ESPN 30 for 30?
Draft is different. Like so, if we using it for trade bait this particular draft, okay, yeah, that's different. I'm talking about drafting them and keeping them.
Oh, drafting them and keeping them, grabbing them and holding them.
Like having Aaron Rodgers and Brett Favre. We don't have a Brett Favre or Tony Romo older guy that needs to mature a young guy coming in. So that's why I'm saying like not keeping them on the roster. But yeah, just use them as trade bait. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Because I think a lot more of the guys that I like are like second, third round guys anyway. Because I just don't bother looking at first round guys too often because you never know how that's going to go. I never know that. But late round picks, a lot less people watch them, and then on top of that, you can get a little bit more accurate when it comes to. My mic was messed up, but you can get a little more accurate in regards to what you're getting because they're not on teams that got all the hype either. Like what is really Jeff Okudah and Damon what's his last name Arnett? What are they really? Do you really know? With Chase Young running rampant like that, do you really know?
That damn Okudah though, man.
He
nice.
said
Okudah Matata.
He nice.
It means no worries for the rest of your days.
You got to flying off the edge. Like they not lining up against Ohio State. Like make sure.
But if you put Okudah on one side of the field, I'm not saying that he's the second coming of a Byron Jones, or you have to worry about that side of the field that much. But I think that he's not a high interception guy because people refuse to throw his way, but his hips are so oily. His transitions, the way he flip his hips out, and the coverage. Great. Oh my goodness! It makes the quarterback hold that ball for an extra 1/10 of a second, and that's what I'm looking for, Okudah. But there's no way. He gonna drop to the 17.
Oh, no, he's not gonna drop.
There's no way that he's gonna even get beyond the fifth pick.
We don't know who those guys. The reason it's still a gamble though is because
it's still a gamble. Yeah.
Any corner that goes on the team with no pressure, God bless you. God bless any corner.
True.
I don't give a shit if you Jalen Ramsey, you cover for 3 seconds, 4 seconds. That's it. After that is a problem. So anybody who has to sit and cover for any longer than that, or coverage is breaking down, he's gonna have trouble. Period. Jalen Ramsey wasn't even looking like his full self over with the Rams, was he? No. So it's the same thing, man. Like I love all those guys, but pressure first, man. Front seven first, everything else.
Front seven first. Shout out to Patrick, man. Shout out to Patrick for making the donation to help grow the nation, man. Really appreciate you, Pat. He said, "What do you think of Jeff Gladney, though? You saw TCU kid?
I like Gladney.
That's the biggest flaw opposed to Jeff Gladney, to dare I say a what's his face name, Okudah. Jeff Gladney would hit you a whole lot better than Okudah would. He's a little bit more physical.
Okudah can hit though.
But he ain't no Gladney type of hitter.
No, he's not. Jalen Johnson can hit too though. Jalen Johnson will hit you. And so with Amik Robinson, and you got Damon Arnett is physical and feisty too. So you got somebody on the other side of Okudah who will smack you in the mouth. And I think it's because he had that cast on all year, but he will knock the hell out you, Damon Arnett. So you got Damon Arnett on the other side who can do that too. So it depends.
Yeah,
on
true.
Looking for. And that's the other thing with corners. You got so many different styles. You got guys who are not looked at right now because they primarily just man cover guys, but you can teach them zone. Or they short, they might not be getting looked at, but you got a lot of quality at corner. Even the guy Vach named, I like a lot, Christian Fulton. We like him. Mm-hmm. I like him if he falls to the second round. I like him.
I just don't like Christian man.
I grab him at 17, but I love him in the second round.
Right. Christian Fulton and AJ Terrell, they tags to me should be touching each other. They're the same person to me, in my opinion, and. Just to be real with you guys, they may just depending on what system or what scheme they go to, they may just people looking at look. I told you, I told you, but I'm just not fond of them at the 17 pick. I'm just not. I'm just sorry. I'm not.
Right.
Mm-hmm. All right, man. We ain't gonna take all y'all time, man. How much? Put it like this. We're just gonna close it out, but. Okoye Media, man, tell people, man, what you're working on. Tell people how they can find your content, your information for the nation, and all this good stuff.
Yeah,
We've been
man.
going for a long time.
You guys make sure y'all just check me.
I know your mic going in and out. Say it again. Repeat.
I gotta plug it back in. But make sure you guys follow me on Okoye Media on YouTube. I'm always publishing and posting stuff up there now. Also, make sure you follow same thing, AKOYE. Media on IG as well. And what you can look forward to now, I'm going to start putting pieces like this in segments, like clips, things like that out there with breakdowns, proven or disproven. Like Vach, I'm gonna go ahead and put it out there while we arguing. That argument that's going to be one of my breakdowns. I'm gonna take those receivers that we mentioned, and we'll do a comparison, videos and stuff like that, and I'll put those clips out for full-length things that I usually get banned for, and that's. For those of you who like the intros or like some of my HD breakdowns, I can't put that out the way I want to on YouTube because I'm not going to destroy the whole channel for one video. So for those, you guys can follow me as a member, and that you'll have access to the stuff that you guys grew to love over time, like some of my funny intros, some of the movie clips, things like that. I just won't put that out there on my main page because of the copyright claim. So, make sure you guys subscribing or joining that membership package on Okoye Media on my page, man. Vach and Law, appreciate y'all.
Man, Okoye, man, your film session and the way you package things together, man. With if YouTube wasn't about that, hey, we're gonna use copyright infringement for you using the 30-second clip or a 15-second clip. Y'all just don't know. Oh, it's hard, man. A 7-second clip. They'll take the whole video down, or they'll claim all of the 30-minute work that you done did, But that's just how the media, everybody, after the fortunate fame.
I've videos before, and I do like that Mike McCarthy video I did a lot of research on that. I was like, me and my brother, we sitting there doing research, trying to figure out his whole chronology. Then when we put it out, we already knew that was going to be a giveaway. Like we wasn't paid off of it. But it's just when you think about doing it again, you're like, I got to do another 60 hours worth of work for free. Or for marketing only, it becomes an issue. So yeah, definitely support these guys. Support Law, support Vaj, support me, support us, man, because what you can't do right now, you know what Stephen A. Smith and those dudes, they not doing this shit right now.
They ain't responding.
You know what they talking about? The best player in the world is LeBron James. They be like, do you think so? And then everybody, that's it. Y'all arguing over who y'all think the best is. They can't make no highlight video. They not sitting they sitting in the house right now because they have to quarantine and they're trying to do what we do like this. So you see how hard it is. We can do what they do. If you told me to read a teleprompter, I'd be bored as hell, but I can talk about a bunch of BS topics. They can't just go off the top of the head the way we do. And you got to respect that. So support these YouTubers that's out here really giving y'all content when there is none. There is no alternative. ESPN got all the budget in the world. Do you want to watch ESPN right now? It's crickets on that channel, man. It's crickets.
No budget over here.
Exactly.
No budget. Yeah.
No budget. We just killing. So
shout out to Dallas Cowboys fan 1997, man. Appreciate you, man. And you're right, Okoye, appreciate you for the donation. He helped growing this thing. But Okoye, you're right. They talking about who the greatest basketball of all time. Clickbaiting everybody. Know it's Michael Jordan. I love LeBron James. He cool and all, especially since he went to my Lakers.
Practice right now. We talking about is LeBron the best? But
that's crazy.
But when Maurice Canaday or Drake Kirkpatrick was being looked at, I talked about when a player comes on the team, you know what I do, Law? What I did. Same thing they say on that Pinky and the Brain. Same thing I do every year. I go watch one of y'all. I don't go to I haven't typed in to watch on a current player, and that says something. I don't watch any of the major networks when it comes to scouting, understanding, or speaking about any player. Because now we done started such a movement, whether you believe it or not, it's dudes doing this on every team out there now. So you can go and find a guy that does this for all of the NFL, but just the Cowboys or whatever. But what you ain't going to do is go to ESPN. Why? Because they talking about the same three teams. If you're a Browns fan, you're not going to find them talking about the Browns unless Baker Mayfield get arrested or OBJ throw a Gatorade bottle or something. The Browns not going to make it on the first take. Neither Cincinnati Bengals or any of those teams. So this is where it's at. They trying to do us. We're not trying to do them. Remember that.
Yes, indeed, man. Y'all check out Okoye Media, man. Check out his content. And shout out to you, Derek, man. Thank you for making the membership. Y'all check out Okoye's media membership package as well. We got some exciting things for the future. Y'all don't forget, don't be allergic to that share button. Share this particular feed, this video, my content, Okoye's content, Tupac and Biggie, Vash Lombardi, Mark Holmes, the Joe Boo doll, Skywalker still, Big Game James, everything else remain the same. Y'all continue to share this thing, and then all of a sudden you gonna turn on your TV, turn into this particular network, and you probably see us all on the network together.
You gonna have to holler at us,
right?
We got them. Like we just don't have the exposure that ESPN and those guys have, but. Any day, I will listen to Vach break down a college player any day over any of the analysts I know. I'll listen to you break down any new player that we bringing on over and create narratives that people ain't even think about. Like we talk about, they not even bringing this type of stuff up. So like I said, like this is where it's going to be at moving forward. Because if people still want that face-to-face interaction with, the personalities or the commentators, this is where it's at. You can go on live with us straight up. Yeah, I'm going live tonight, Ready Red. I know that's one of my moderators right there. Shout out to
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, I'm going live tonight for the whole draft, man. I didn't even know the draft was today. That's
my guy Toot Robinson said 105.3 trash too.
Exactly.
but shout out to 105.3 the fan, man. I got some of my dogs over there, but they know
they want to do this shit too.
They know my dogs over there, man. Shout out to them. But we allow you guys to speak freely. So speak your mind. And speaking of that, that's been our time. I really appreciate you all. And remember, You're listening to nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing but the best of Okoye Media, baby. Yes, baby. Let's go. Let's jam on out of here, baby.
Get it.
Yeah. Say ain't no party like a cowboy party, 'cause a cowboy party don't. Hey, y'all give me some fire emojis down there, man. Let me see some fire right here, baby. Let me see some fire emojis, man. Let's go. Come on. Hey. Oh. Cowboy Nation. We live. We lit. Let's go. Yeah. That's what we do, Okoye. That's what we do, baby. That's what we do. Let me see some fire emojis. I know y'all crunk tonight. Let's go. Let's go to the Super Bowl, baby. Yes. Watch how the beat come in.